yeah, again, welcome everybody to How to Build a Data Science Portfolio That Gets You Noticed, as you can see. I think like data science is, I think if memory serves, 2019 or something like that. It was designated as one of the sexiest jobs of the 21st century, which I think is a very nice way to put it, of course. I'm not sure if people would have the exact same sentiment today still, but it is still a very interesting field to get into, I believe. However, of course, as probably most of you are aware, there is a strong supply of professionals in the field, and also of people with experience, so it can sometimes be difficult to get noticed especially when with AI and ChatGPT assisted application processes. If then people on LinkedIn put out an open position and basically get within 1 hour 200 responses, it will be difficult, or it can be difficult to get noticed by the right people. But I do think that having a strong portfolio, having really something to show, that is the most valuable thing that you can have in that kind of situation. Something that really can show the right people that you are able to work for yourself independently, creatively, solve problems, find interesting value in data. I think being able to show that is incredibly valuable, and I think can, in many cases, when there is a hiring decision to be made, can make the decision essentially. And with that, I think, like, I am very excited. I hope all of you are also very excited to now learn how to build a data science portfolio that gets you noticed. And without further ado, I will give it to you, Lina. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much. I agree. It was designated as the sexiest job some years ago, but let's see. It will be interesting to know how people, what people think about that today. But definitely, portfolios is something that I'm very excited to share about today. And I'm very glad that you're joining us. And so today I'm going to talk about, as I mentioned, about data science portfolios. Suppose you have been trying unsuccessfully to build a portfolio. Maybe you tried and failed many times already. Or perhaps you need to be, a little bit more confident to take the first steps. If that is your situation, then this workshop is for you. I'm going to give you the blueprint to build a portfolio. I will show you the step-by-step to go from not having a portfolio to knowing how to build one, so you can start sharing it with anyone. Okay, so by the end of this workshop, you will know what is a portfolio for data science, who needs one, what makes it outstanding, the step-by-step process for creating one, some examples, and also some common challenges about building a portfolio. But let me start to give you a little bit of context. Let me start sharing a little bit about me. I'm on a mission, and my mission is to make a positive impact on women's lives. That's why I am a career strategist for women who are switching careers to data science. But before that, I started in a very different place. I am a scientist at heart, and my career started with a bachelor, a master, and a PhD in physics. And then I worked in a couple of academic institutions for 5 years.
Oh,
He's dropped, right?
did we lose somebody?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we lost the speaker.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, she warned us that there could be some connection troubles. We were considering to switching to a mobile host, to a mobile hotspot, and I think is probably that's our cue to do exactly that.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we hear you good.
I don't know exactly what happened. Just Zoom just closed completely. I don't know.
Okay, that is interesting.
Yes, that's completely interesting because I think it wasn't related to my internet connection, but we will see.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, glad you're back, and let's get back on track. You're doing great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to start sharing again my screen.
Give me 1 second for that. I think I will need to. No, okay, you should be able to share. Yeah, yeah.
So we were here. Yes, we were here, right?
Okay, I don't see it yet.
Not yet.
It's black for me.
Blue. Maybe now.
There we go.
Yeah, now it's visible.
Okay. Okay. I hope it's not my internet connection, but if it is, I'm going to switch to other way of connecting. Okay. So I don't know where I was, but yes, I was saying that I have experience working as a data scientist, and also I volunteer as a mentor for foundations like Finding Ada in the UK. I am also part of the committee in Women from Data Science, previously from Stanford University. And last but not least, you can find me on YouTube and watch my collaboration with the educational branch of TED. That was really fun. And at heart, I love to help others succeed, and specifically succeed in their careers. But mostly, I'm on a mission to impact women's careers and help them see that a career in data science is possible for them. So what is a portfolio for data science? So let's start with the beginning. So a portfolio is the one place for anyone who wants to get to know you better, professionally speaking. So what I mean by that is if someone in the data science industry want to learn about your skills and the tools you master, then just glancing at your portfolio should answer their questions. So basically, a portfolio for data science is a collection of all the projects you feel the most proud of have achieved, and that is important, and that highlights your skills. So it's not just one or the other, it's both things. And that is something important that I'm going to talk more about it in just a few slides. Times, as you probably already know, not every portfolio is created for the same reasons. Like everything we create and share online, we must first consider who is the audience. So the answer to that question is important because it will clarify the specific requirements and essentials of your portfolio. Basically, that answer will define how to organize your portfolio, what to highlight, the level of depth you share, or even the platform you're going to choose for uploading the portfolio. So let's divide everything.
That's not ideal.
No, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But let's wait if she comes back. Okay.
So I hope that was not the mobile hotspot yet. If it's not, then that now is the time to use it. If it was, that's unfortunate.
Okay, so now
Welcome back. We can hear you, although like towards the end, just now before you dropped out, the audio got a little bit hacky and the video got a little bit hacky.
Okay.
So if you didn't do it already, if you could switch your mobile hotspot, I think that would be great.
I did it all right. So I hope
Okay.
everything works now without any
Yes.
problem.
Let's hope
So
so.
sorry about that. Has been quite a challenge today with my internet connection. So let's go back a few slides. Nope. So we were in the option one. Okay. So yeah, so sorry about that. But okay, let's see up the option one. So maybe you're looking for a place to showcase your projects and share them with others. So basically, this option is if you're creating a portfolio for your own enjoyment. In that case, your portfolio could be anything you want, and you can follow your own rules. Basically, it is less important in that case to be clear about your skills and to organize everything in a certain way. So basically, you're free to do whatever you want and to portray everything in the way that you want, because this is basically just for you. You're sharing your personal projects with the world. And that's one of the main reasons for to create a portfolio. So another option is to get recognized as an expert in the area. So this is something like strategically for a future career change. In this case, you're creating a portfolio to share with peers, other professionals, executives, and people in the industry. So now we're getting to the most common reason for a portfolio, and that's to get a job. So this is the option number 3. And in that case, your portfolio will be for talent acquisition specialists and hiring managers. And one special situation is if you are switching careers to data science after some years of working in another industry. So let's see that special situation with a little bit more detail. So this is the option number 4. So let's say you have followed the route of formal education and you get a degree in data science, for example. So then you have some quote unquote proof of knowledge. Basically, your degree is your proof of your years of education and also your qualifications. But now imagine that you are a career switcher wanting to get a job in data science, and you have a background in, let's say, finance. So even though you're probably very skilled in finances, you don't have any, again, quote unquote, proof of your data science knowledge. Because being a career switcher, what it means is that you're probably a candidate without much or probably any relevant job experience in data science. And something I like to highlight anytime I'm talking about portfolios is that your portfolio combined with your degrees, your certificates, your GitHub, your resume is something that is going to help you to get to the interview process. So just to be clear, the purpose of a portfolio is to give you an advantage and help you stand out from other applicants for the same role. So, oops, sorry. So how did you, as a career switcher, can showcase your expertise and can showcase your data science skills and knowledge? Well, a portfolio is an excellent way to put yourself out there and show that you have the required technical and non-technical skills. So let's move to another important topic in portfolios, is what makes a portfolio outstanding. And let me start by saying that there isn't a unique answer to this question. There aren't bulletproof portfolios. It is not like a magic wand that is gonna, make a portfolio outstanding just because. But as you will see in some examples later in the workshop, there are different styles and ways of portraying your projects. Why? Because there's a personal component to it. And the idea isn't to remove your personality or your style from the portfolio. But from the point of view of the different hiring managers that I have had conversations with, and also from my own experience, I can tell you there are some essential components that will help you elevate your portfolio. So what are those essential components? So the first is create a portfolio that is easy to understand and navigate. Keep in mind that probably no one will take hours to review an extensive list of projects to understand whether your skills will be valuable to the company or if you're the right person for the job. So you should highlight your skills and make them evident to anyone visiting your portfolio. Also include attractive visualization, and it is necessary to add some storytelling. And also something that could be challenging about portfolios is that someone could have a fantastic portfolio that is all copied from somewhere. So a good option is to create something that is unique. For example, you could use your own data. Okay, so let's see the 6 steps to create a portfolio. And this is a step number 1. And I'm going to focus on how to create a portfolio to get a job. So that is going to be the specifics for what I'm going to share. All of these steps are focused on that. And the first step is to select the skills you want to show based on your desired industry in data science. So this is going to help you to make a pre-selection of the type of data sets you will need. Let's say text or numeric, images, videos, maps, etc. And in case that you don't know what exactly you want to do in data science, what type of role you want, and what are the skills that you will need for that role, well, I created a free guide for you with a two-step process to help you find your niche in data science. You can get it completely for free using the QR code on the screen right now. So that was the first step. Let's see the step number 2. And this one is to use your information advantage for anyone switching careers. And I can add that I have seen very good results with my clients when they use their information advantage. It means to leverage the knowledge you have in the industry that you were before switching careers. So let's get into more detail. Let's say you have been working in marketing during the last few years, or you are, I don't know, a nurse. And the idea here is to use your knowledge about that industry in a way that you already know the best questions in your industry. And that is an outstanding advantage because basically you know the top questions. And another important point here is to use a topic that you are passionate about. So that could help you to keep motivated from start to finish. The third step, in this step, you will use the results from the first and second step to search for a data set. There are several places to find data sets. Some of the most recognized places, for example, if you're just starting, a good place to visit is Kaggle. Another place is a Google database search, and there are many other that are also free, or there are also paid options. And one thing that I like to add here, and this is kind of a reminder, is that you can take a simple data set and create something remarkable. So what it means is that you don't need a data set with hundreds of columns in order to extract insights and get valuable information. So don't try to look for the perfect data set, and basically start doing things, start analyzing and working in a project using the data sets that call your attention, that you feel are interesting, that you can feel that you can extract some information, or that are related to your previous or current industry before data science. So the next step, step number 4, is basically the step for data analysis. And I usually like to start with an initial exploration of the data set. I like to think about the questions that I can ask and the information that I can extract. Then analyze the data set, looking for answers for each question. And also make sure to register your analysis in detail, all your process in detail, because that will be valuable on the next step. And one tip here is to write clear code. Don't just write code for yourself. Think that you will be sharing your code with others, and training yourself to write clear code from the beginning is a must. Basically, when you're in a position as a data scientist, for example, you will be sharing and you will be working with others most of the times. So having this training, this clear way of adding your code and making it clear for anyone that is going to read or interact with it is definitely a major advantage. And that is something that I would like to, remind you. Probably you already know, but it is important for any collaboration and to make everything more easy, all the process more easy. So now we get to the part that I love the most. In this step, the main idea is to share the story of how you came to the conclusions and insights you found during the analysis. So basically now it is time to explain why the questions you choose are relevant, why you opted for that type of visualization, and why what are the key elements, for example, that me as a visitor of your portfolio, someone that is watching your portfolio, should take away from this particular project. So you can say it in that way. It's like, if I am someone that is just taking a look at your portfolio, what are the key essential things that I should take away from any of the projects that I get the chance to take a look at? For the visualization, I love interactive plots. That is something that I don't know, I think is very, very interesting to see, very attractive. It's very, call the attention easily. And I know that Power BI and Tableau dashboards are very common, but I like to explore and use other options. For me, one of the best things when it comes to visualization is that we have many options out there, and we have also the advantage that many of those options are free and are open source. So I'm going to give you some names so you can explore later. Some of my preferred libraries are Bokeh, Matplotlib, which I don't know if you already know this, but it has been around for more than 20 years since the initial release. So that's kind of interesting, 20 years, more than 20 years for Matplotlib, but okay. Also Plotly and AnyWidget. I particularly like projects made by the community, such as Vega Altair and Drawdata. There are other libraries based on Matplotlib, such as Seaborn for statistical graphics. That is also a library that you can explore. And to just give you an excellent example of interactive graphics, this is a plot from Vega Altair. So Vega Altair is a statistical visualization library. It's something very related to statistics. And I think it has a friendly and elegant as well approach to beautiful visualizations. So if you're interested in this visualization library, just look for their GitHub repo using the name Vega Altair to see the documentation and download and install this tool. So the last step is to wrap up your projects and share your portfolio. So the first thing here is make it easy to share. Basically, you only need a link. Keep it professional, but definitely add your personality. Include an about section, about me section. You can include there your contact information or links to social media profiles. I suggest adding also a list of your skills or grouping your projects by skills. That could be also something helpful. You can also add a few lines about your educational background and experience. But in this step, it's important to add storytelling and share with anyone reading your projects what you found, what are the relevant aspects of this project, why you choose the data set, what are the conclusions, what are the next steps. Basically, the important point here is to share a story about the data set and a story about the analysis. It is to highlight important results, explain your visual elements, provide suggestions or solutions based on your findings, and make the reader understand what you did and why it is valuable. And the options for sharing the portfolio are many. I like to things, as I mentioned, to keep things simple and free. So you can create a personal website using free or paid options. In this last category, if you want to pay for it, some options are budget friendly, like for example, card. It is written like a credit card. I mean that second word, card, but with double R. And if I remember correctly, the cost it's around $10 per year. Or if you want to use your own domain, then it's around $20 per year. So to give you some context, if you want to get a website in other places, in other hosters that you have to pay for it, usually the cost is around $10 per month. So I think that is a, these $10 per year is a really, really, really good option. But if you're on a budget, then there are some free options as well. And I particularly like to suggest to my clients, and this is what I suggest almost all the time, is a combination of Notion and GitHub. And this is like the step 6.5. And so basically, once you have enough experience creating your projects and working with your projects, I would like to add that something that will probably like show that you have an ability to think on the next level is something that could potentially also set you apart, is a product. And products are what you see mostly on the industry. So if you can create one, that will show that you have the capacity to work not only with notebooks, not only with dashboards, but also you can solve real world problems. And one final consideration here is, and I say this with all my compassion for anyone just starting, is that projects from bootcamps and online courses won't set you apart. So those are perfect for learning, but think about the other thousands of people with the same project, basically, in their portfolio. So keep it in mind, if you have projects from bootcamps or from online courses, that won't set you apart. Okay. So just to have it all together, and most specific terms, basically, a project portfolio includes a data set, some libraries or pipelines or tools that you are going to use in the process to identify data patterns or to extract insights or predictions or information or run some models. Then it is necessary to translate those insights or information into compelling and understandable visualizations. And then in order to share those insights, then yes, basically you want to add some storytelling to the mix. So anyone looking at your project can understand what it's all about and understand what are the conclusions and how did you got them. So now let's move to some examples of portfolios. So I have some examples for you, and I want to share them because these are examples of portfolios made by real people. Some of them are people who switched their career to data science and created a portfolio in the process. And the main idea here is for you to take them as a source of inspiration to create a portfolio based on what you like about these examples. It could be the colors or how everything is organized. So basically take them as an example for your future portfolio or to make some changes if you already have one. So the first one is gonna be from Hannah. Hannah is a data scientist and generative artist. So I'm going to get out of here, okay? So I hope you can see Hannah's portfolio. So you can see, first thing is her name. It's a hello, glad to see you there. This is a collection of my personal projects made during free time. And you can see here she have an about section and a contact section. And she divided everything into categories. So she have all categories or data visualization, creating coding, or data science. So basically, if you scroll down, you can see where is the title of the project. And also you can have some details about, this was made in R, it was made in 2017. And yes, you can basically explore around and have a look and have an idea what she did or what she created. If we scroll down a little bit more, you're gonna see we're going to get to the About Me section. And then she's sharing here some of the social, links. So things like Substack or GitHub or Medium. And so that is something that you can also do. And if we scroll up again and we click on data science, there is an option here for view more projects. So this is going to take us to more projects that are a little bit more recent. This is from April 2020, but you can see how this is organized. There is a title, there is like a kind of a short description of the project, the tools that she used, the category, and then there is here a link for the GitHub repo for this project. So basically, it is very simple, very kind of minimalistic, and I really like that because the attention is where we need it. If someone is taking a look at this portfolio, your attention is, oh, this project is about this, or she's using Python here, and it's about this topic. So it is more. I found it more easy to understand. And if I want to get more details, then I just click here and I can get to her GitHub. So that was the first example. So that was Hannah. And then let's move to the second example, who is Marco. Marco is a theoretical physicist, consultant, writer, and also an entrepreneur. So let's see his portfolio. And this portfolio was created using, is hosted on a Squarespace. The previous one from Hannah is in Amazon. So this is Marco's portfolio. And he has a little bit more of details because, well, conferences, live codes, and advice. So there is a lot more. But when you get into his webpage, the first thing you see is the skills, basically his skills. And he's sharing, oh, I know about natural language processing and time series and machine learning. So there is like focus on the skills first, then there is a short description about, okay, these are the projects that I'm working on, these are the topics, and if you want more information, then you can just get more information if you click on the different projects. So here, you can see, oh, okay, I can see the title, this is something related to NLP, and predicting clicks on digital ads, principal components analysis. If I click any of those, it's going to take me to his GitHub repo. So this is another way to organize everything. So if you want to use Squarespace, as Marco is doing, you can, of course, if you can pay for that, it's perfect. It's very easy to use, very intuitive. It's just very straightforward. But if you don't want to do that, then you can use Notion, for example. So Notion is going to allow you to do something quite similar like this. And what you can do is you can add, when people click on a project, then it's gonna take them to the GitHub repository. So I don't know, I think it's the win-win scenario where you don't have to pay for the web page. You can have a link to share with everyone, and even you can add a domain if you want, but that is really connected to your repository to your GitHub. And the last example is from Naledi. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce her last name, but she's a consulting analyst. And Naledi, when you get into her webpage, you're gonna see she's a consulting analyst. She can do some collection, process, and analysis, present data. So the first thing that you can see is click, get in touch. It's like, write me, tell me if you need something from me, and you're gonna see why she's using this structure. And basically, she starts with saying, I can do this, I can collect, I can process, I can visualize. So she's starting right with what are the things that I can do for you, and what are the things that I have experience doing. So it's a background in social psychology, social research, and she has theoretical and practical knowledge in survey design. So basically the collection part of collecting data sets is something that she has a lot of experience with, and she's sharing that. Then on the process side, she shared, okay, I can do some predictive analysis and many more. And my experience visualizing is blah, blah, blah. So this is the format that she shows. And so she can have experience creating with interactive tools and static infographics. And And as you're gonna learn, basically, she has now an about section here, but she's structuring her portfolio in this way because she is available for short-term projects and part-time, longer-term engagements. So basically, she is creating a portfolio more for clients, for people that want to, I'm looking for someone that can collect data and can process it and can also create a stunning visualization. And she's presenting what she can do. Then if we go to a sample of her work, then you can see here that, we have, for example, here, an animated data story built with Flourish, to present findings about climate in a climate report. So basically, any of those projects are projects that are going to give you a visual part, but also a description, a short description of what is done. And if you click in any of those, you're going to get to, for example, here, this one was built on Tableau Public. And this is what policymakers know about women issues. So you can click on some of those and you can explore a little bit about what she's sharing with this project. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so here, let's talk about challenges. These are by far the most prevalent, common challenges that I have seen in my clients. So any of these challenges are in the way of building a portfolio in the first place, basically. That's what is happening. So the first thing is I want an impressive portfolio and huge results. And that inevitably is going to create procrastination. And this happens because creating a portfolio gets to be this massive project with a lot of pressure added. And when we don't know how to achieve the expected result, then the next thing that happens is we just don't know where to start, and then we don't start at all. So the second thing is thinking there is no place for small projects and that all of our projects should be impressive, And what I usually suggest when this is a roadblock is to split the projects into categories. The first category are projects that showcase the basic skills. And the second category are projects that showcase the topic that you choose you want to be in data science. That will be, I want to work with natural language processing. So you're going to create in your first category just basic projects that are going to showcase how you can, work with data, extract insights, or maybe something really simple, some simple visualization. But on this second kind of bucket or category are projects that are going to showcase how you can, your expertise working with natural language processing, basically. Then the third thing is the lack of clarity about the story I can tell or I can extract from the data set. That could be a major challenge. For this practice, is basically your best option. When I think of people I know who are really good at this, what you can realize is common to all of them is how much time they have put in solving this, how many hours they have been practicing this step. Basically, they face the question of, okay, what is the story here? Many times. And with time, they just, grow a capacity for clarity. So basically, the best you can do if you don't have this kind of a skill about sharing the story, about storytelling, the best you can do is to practice. And it's gonna come. I mean, you don't have the skill yet, but if you practice, you're gonna get it. Okay. The next thing is I spend a lot of time creating multiple projects. So if you spend a lot of time creating multiple projects, but you don't focus on showcasing the quote unquote right ones or the right skills for the desired role or job. Here, the important thing is to be very strategic. to start with a plan in mind instead of just starting without having clarity of what you want and how you're gonna get there. So planning is important here. Don't just start and try to, okay, I'm going to build this and I'm gonna see later when it's gonna happen. It's just think about the skills you want to show, like basically all the different steps for creating a portfolio. But here is, go back to that and think about the skills and think the skills you want to showcase, and then what are the projects that are gonna align with that. Okay, because it doesn't make any sense if I want to work in, I don't know, not with natural language processing, then creating multiple projects about, I don't know, something completely different is not going to show that I know about natural language processing, right? And lastly, overcomplicating the process by trying to make the right decision about where to share the portfolio. And here the solution is to remember that simple is better. Easy to read and easy to share is better. For example, the design of the portfolio matters, but what really, really matters is the content, and also your self-confidence about your knowledge and skills in data science. So those are basically the most common challenges that I have seen. So if you are stuck in any of those projects, any of those challenges, sorry, so there is a solution for any of those. And usually it's going back and think again. What do you want? Why do you want it? And how you can get there. So it's not about just, I want an impressive portfolio and I'm going to work several hours to get it. It's like, okay, I want an impressive portfolio. Why? Because I want to get hired. Okay, but how can I increase my chances of getting hired? It is going to be only the portfolio? Well, no, it's going to be a combination of different factors like networking or, even your resume. And so don't put so much pressure into the portfolio process. This is just something that you can enjoy. Remember that. It's something that you can enjoy doing it. You're going to learn a lot about it. You're going to learn a lot about the different projects and about the different skills in the process of creating your portfolio as well. So yes, basically that's what is important. So one of the ways that I'm providing value and helping women around the world is by creating basically an environment. There is an opportunity for women to just sit down and build their portfolio from scratch with me. So I'm launching something that I called the Data Science Portfolio Accelerator, because I have seen how having someone with you, helping you, is, this lead to massive value by using the power of accountability, and also the real difference that makes to have someone who can answer your questions, basically. And that is the main purpose, my main purpose behind the Portfolio Accelerator. And that's why I'm offering something very unique, something that you don't see very often out there. And there is 8 live sessions. During those sessions, I'll be there explaining the step-by-step in detail, and we will work on a project together. So this is not just theory, this is practice, and you will see me live analyzing data, extracting insights, and creating a complete project from scratch. I believe this is a shortcut that many women need to showcase their skills and basically just go for that job and start the career transition they have been wanting for a long time. So you can join. We're going to start the 2nd of September. It's going to be completely online. And if you sign up before the 30th of August, you're going to have a discount. And of course, there are limited spots because, well, I want to make this very personalized, and I want to be able to provide attention to everyone. So how to connect with me? You can visit my website, linamaria.com. You can also contact me or connect with me on LinkedIn. The QR code on the screen right now is for LinkedIn. And also you can visit my newsletter. Basically, I'm sharing information about career change, suggestions, things that I learned things that I think that could be really helpful for anyone making a transition to data science. What are the key things to keep in mind? So yes, you can have a read there and enjoy everything that I have been sharing with many other people, not only women. But yes, basically you can, if you want to get a response from me, the easiest way is LinkedIn. So you can connect with me there and you can send me messages there if you have any question or any kind of similar thing. Okay. So I think that's all for today. Thank you very, very much for joining me.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much, Lina. Very nice. Do we have any questions going on? Anything in the chat? Feel free to raise your hand, put it in the chat, or use the microphone. Just give it like a few seconds.
Yes.
Otherwise,
to type and
yeah.
it's gonna take some
Well,
time.
yeah, indeed. I mean, like otherwise, already, of course, like thank you so much for sharing all that stuff. Like especially seeing also the very very nice things that other people did, like the example portfolios from real people,
Yes.
is of course very cool to see what other people did. And I
Yes,
think,
and the different styles, right? They have different
yeah,
ways of portraying their skills, and they're focusing on, I want to focus first on this because this is what matters more for me. I want to please first show my skills because that is what I need. So
yeah,
the different strategies, right? It's a
yeah.
good way. Mhm.
I think though what is like probably common among all strategies and which is very very important is probably patience, right? Especially the first one. I do not recall the name of the person from the top of my head, but I think this is not something that comes in an afternoon, of course.
I think it was the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see there are a couple of things on the chat. And so
Yes.
if I will be conducting training after the wave in September, to be honest, I'm not quite sure. That is my most honest answer to that question. I'm not quite sure if it's going to happen again soon. I think it's going to happen again, but I can't tell you when, actually. So
It's also a
then,
question if we can share the presentation.
uh-huh.
So on our side, if you are okay with that, like sharing that presentation, we would host that on our GitHub, as you would typically do the code for our workshops, and then usually these workshops also have slides. We host it then in that repository, and that's also what we would do here, just specifically for the slides.
Okay, yes, I think I can share the presentation. Yes, even you're going to be able to take a look at it again if you want on the YouTube channel, right? So,
Oh yeah, of course.
and I'll
Yeah,
share there.
of course. This has also been recorded for you on YouTube to rewatch it.
Yes,
On the Thai
exactly.
Ladies Amsterdam channel.
Yes. So Jonas mentioned, I heard a large range of things about the job market as a data scientist. From you will find a job in no time to it is really difficult to find a job. What is your thought on that, specifically for someone who is switching careers? Okay. Jonas, I am not part of the you will find a job in no time or it is very difficult right now. I'm most in the middle. I think that the right options for you are gonna come and you just need to be prepared for that. And you just need to, do your part of the process and be ready. Because let's say you have you mentioned that you're switching careers. So maybe you are completely ready right now to, get into, let's say you're switching to be a data scientist. That's I'm assuming from your question. So if you're completely ready right now, that's perfect. And just looking for a job and just having everything ready, like your portfolio, your resume, practicing interviews, all of that, then it is really probable that you're gonna get a job. And I don't believe this idea of is really difficult because I honestly, I don't, it's not the way how I see life. I'm more, as I mentioned, in the middle of those both sentences, those affirmations. And so I think you're switching, if you're switching careers, what is the struggle usually for people is not feeling or not being ready yet. So we have these two sides. Some of the, especially, I'm working with women, and I see many times this difficulty, and it's like feeling, I'm not ready enough, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough coding, and I don't know how to do this. And it's like all of this difficult self, talk about not being ready or not being enough. And that is one of the sides of the story. And the other is really not being ready, not having the skills yet, not being at the level of, oh, I can take this data set and I can do the things that I'm going to need to do later in this specific industry. So I think that if you're switching careers, just focus on being prepared for what you want comes, what you want next, being prepared for that. And also, if you're switching careers, and I'm a career switcher as well, so I know that could be very challenging for some more than for others. For me, it was really, really challenging, but it is to take it one step at a time if you're having some difficulties switching. But besides that, I think you just don't listen to the people saying that it's difficult. Just do it and try it. Yes. You're welcome.
Wonderful. Yes. We also see two questions on the YouTube side, in the YouTube chat.
Okay.
First one being by Evelyn. I wanted to ask about your personal experience going from physics to data.
Okay, my personal experience going from physics to data. As I mentioned, I was working as a research scientist. That is something that I did for, physics and science is something that I did for many years. And it's something that I really, really enjoy. I really like. But then, I was working on very interesting topics. But the main purpose there was basically publishing the results. It was getting grants. So I was in academia. So the purpose there is quite different. And it didn't align anymore with me. I didn't, even though I loved the work that I was doing, for me, it wasn't enough to just think about, I'm going to, do all of this research, get some very interesting results. And then the main purpose is going to be a publication in a peer review magazine. And so after doing that for some years, I just decided, I want to do something that I can contribute in a different way. I want to contribute in a different way. And my statement in that moment was, I want to help others using my skills. And that is like huge, you can do many things with that. But then slowly I defined what are my skills, what are the things that I like to do, what are the things that I like in data. Because part of the reasons why I was in physics is because, I like to learn and I like to find these different little hidden treasures in data in many forms. So one of my passions became natural language processing. And so I basically thought I was in this process of learning that natural language processing by myself. And that was really interesting. I founded a company based on that. But then it come to the point where I had to make the decision of, okay, I'm going to continue with that company, or I'm going to continue, being a mentor for others and helping women. That is something that is really, really, really dear to my heart. And it's especially women because being in a mostly male-dominated industry topic subject like physics is quite challenging. And I met many amazing women that were really, I don't know, full of self-doubt, and me, of course, as well. But somehow I just learned how to deal with that. So I'm helping others to deal with that and having this mentality that, you can do it. I'm sure you can do it. You just need to try and just leave that, heavy weight behind you because, we have this gender gap for women. So that's why I'm basically working with women. And so my career has been like very different from physics right now. And I don't know if that is helpful for you in any way. I hope. I hope it is helpful to know kind of a little bit more details of how was that.
Okay, thank you very much. The second question is by Yuri. What kind of projects could we create with our own information?
Ooh, that's interesting. I know, for example, I saw a project from someone who was using her data from her Fitbit is the name, I think, is this a smartwatch. So she downloaded all her information and she created basically a project using her own data. I mean, it wasn't absolutely unique. It was something unique because no one else has her data, basically. So that is one of the examples that I recently remember reading. And the idea how she shared about that is it wasn't like, oh, this is my data. These are the things that I found. It's more about questions and answers with visual elements. So I think that is very clever. It's like you have your own data. You can think about, okay, what are the questions that I want to answer with this data? So you have the questions and you explain why that question is important and what is the answer to that question. And you show a visual, to add a visual element for each question and each answer, basically. And that was really, I don't know, really clever. And that is something that you can do if you have access, for example, to that kind of data.
Can make the project extra fun to make it with your
Yes.
own data.
You can learn a lot about yourself as well.
Very fair. Very fair. Yeah.
Yes.
We have one more question. We just got another question on YouTube by Magdalena. What's a good number of portfolio projects?
A good number. Okay, I'm assuming this is for getting a job in data science. Because I mean, if it is for your enjoyment, just you do you. But if it is to get a job in data science, again, there is no like a magic number that I can tell you now, like, oh, 10 is perfect, because it's not like that. But it is more about the quality of the projects that you have. And if you really want a number to have in mind, like, oh, maybe I should aim for this number, I will say that something like 6 or 8 projects is completely fine. I mean, more than that is like, okay, you can do it, of course. But that, I mean, it's a good number. It's a good compromise between, not having quite a blank space on your webpage, but also, having enough projects to contribute in a way that could be, interesting for any potential employer. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think that's it. I don't see any other questions for now.
Okay.
If there are any other questions, I think we have a few more seconds or minutes to ask them. But in the meantime, I would like to say thank you again. Thank you very much. I think it's very interesting what you shared. I think it will give a lot of us motivation to either start our own portfolios or dust off some of our old projects and present them in a super nice, super presentable way.
Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I think that's going to be it for today. Exactly. I still don't see any other questions. Then I would like to just close by saying, yeah, we will then also share the slides soon on in the GitHub repo. This will then in the coming days, you will find that on our meetup page. We will, of course, have another meetup next month. The specifics are to be determined later, but I hope it will be just as entertaining and just as useful as the one we had today. Yeah, and if there is nothing else, if there are no other questions. Oh, I see one more question. Yeah, just came in. another one from Evelyn. Thank you, Evelyn. Do you recommend to make projects to learn, or go first in an online course or online resource for some new techniques and then learning by projects? So basically, what comes first, the project or the
Yes.
online course?
Yes, because I mean, it could be really difficult to work on a project if you don't have the, the basis for it. If you don't know how to code, for example. I mean, I'm exaggerating probably, but if you don't know how to code, then how you're going to create the project, right? So I think that good compromise between learning some essentials, some basic things that you can do with code, start your own project, and when you have some questions, when you get into this point of saying, oh, I don't know how to do this, then you go and search for the answer, and then go back, continue working on the project, and then probably you're going to have more and more and more questions, but you can solve them on the process. So yes, start with a base of, chunk of knowledge, and then from there start your project and answer the questions that are going to come when you're building it.
I think that's a very good way of put it. I think if you learn something in a course or something like that, it will also just stick way better if you then use it in some kind of practical manner.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the many questions, everybody, and thank you so much, Lina, for the very thorough, very nice answers. But I think then it is now time to call it a day, and I think then we're at the end of the call. Any closing words from your side, Lina?
No, I think it's like, thank you very much for having me here. I
Yes.
really enjoyed it. And yes, I'll see you in a month, in the next one.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining, and we hope to see you again in the next meetup. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Good evening.
Bye.